humpbacks and blue whales come to this area to feed during the summer, and they've been here for several weeks.
Can we expect to see all of these creatures every time we come?
Almost every day. I think we've seen blue whales pretty much every day from the end of April or middle of May until now, which is the middle of July. And we've had blue whales for about 4 weeks or so. So it's almost every single day. You can't ever make a guarantee, but practically every day, probably over 99% of the time.
How far out will we go today?
Probably, they've been seen mid-channel, which is about 10 miles across, anywhere to about 25 miles out, which is where Santa Cruz and Santa Rosa Island are. So we start looking actually ever since when we first leave the harbor, and we'll continue looking till we get out to the Channel Islands. But last week, for example, we saw some whales halfway across. So it might be in even half an hour or 45 minutes.
A rare opportunity to glimpse some of the planet's most magnificent marine life awaits visitors to Sea Landing in Santa Barbara. Sponsored by the Cabrillo Marine Aquarium, the voyage offers members and friends a once-in-a-lifetime chance to witness these elusive mammals in their own environment.
We're on Cabrillo Marine Aquarium's Whales of Summer trip, and friends, members of the aquarium come out to look at blue whales and humpback whales and dolphins and all kinds of things out in the Channel Islands. No matter how hard we try and make reservations with the animals, they don't always show when we want them to, but there's an abundance of life, so we can guarantee we'll see something. And we do see birds, we do see whales.
How often does the Cabrillo Marine Aquarium have these adventures?
We do this trip out to see the whales of summer once a year during the summer. There are other trips that the aquarium sponsors, either out to Catalina or the other Channel Islands, where we actually go onto the islands, or down to Baja, or go whale watching down by San Pedro. But this is the one trip we go out to the Channel Islands and out to explore what's living in the channel.
Not only what we see is so very interesting, but the boat itself is so comfortable and modern. I mean, 2 widescreen TVs. Of course, they're not on. We're all watching whales.
It's true. It is amazing how through time, I mean, the blue whales have only been seen in this channel since the 90s. And at that time, we'd come out in a monohull, a single-hull boat. It would take hours to get out here. This is a high-speed catamaran. We get out here quickly. It's a real flat platform. So people who have been worried about getting out on an ocean, being out in the open ocean, find that it's delightful.
The 7:30 a.m. departure attracts a bevy of curious whale watchers, many of whom have experienced a California gray whales trip during migration season. The Condor Express transports us to selected areas around the Channel Islands, popular marine corridors for humpback whales and other mammals. And to keep the passengers entertained and well-informed, aquarium naturalists are on hand, offering information on each and every marine encounter.
To be at least 31 years old, and presumably a lot longer. Come back in 50 years and we'll let you know. Same thing with all other species of whales. The humpback whale, salt was seen back in 1976.
What we always do is we bring staff along with us to talk about the marine life that's out here. When we see whales or dolphins, giving some of the specifics about what their natural behavior is, letting people know there's a variety of birds. There's seabirds that we see out here that often spend most of their life out in the ocean, that are very rarely close to shore. So this is the one chance to be able to see them. We'll see different fish that are out here, jellies, all kinds of things. And so the staff help provide interpretation about what they're seeing.
I understand we're looking at something, or at least approaching something right now.
Yeah, up ahead of us, about a mile ahead, is a humpback whale.
A hump? Now, what do they look like? I guess they've got a hump, right?
Yeah, well, actually, when they dive to go down, they tend to hump up their back. And on the back, there's a small dorsal fin. On the head, there's a series of bumps, each of which has a hair in it. They have very long flippers, up to 1/3 their body length, huge. And their tail, they often raise their tail before they dive. Their tail can vary from all white to all black, and it's unique, like a thumbprint.
And they're probably common to this area in Southern California?
Not really common, but seasonally common. This time of year, we see them on almost every trip. I think they've seen them on every trip in May, June, and July out here, at least one.
So they have summer fun here on the Southern California coast.
Exactly, perfect, exactly. Yeah. And they might be feeding at the surface, or they could be moving through an area. Humpbacks like to eat krill and fish. Blue whales only eat krill, which is a shrimp.
In addition to the breathtaking whale encounters, other marine life includes a school of mola mola, the largest of ocean sunfish, whose dorsal fins make them appear as if they're waving hello to whale watchers. And each encounter is greeted by flocks of seabirds who seem to magically appear at every stop.
We saw a lot of birds today. What kind were they?
Those were shearwaters that were sitting on the surface.
Yeah.
And these are birds that are really interesting. They're birds that we don't see near shore typically. They're going to be feeding and flying really close to the surface of the water. So their bodies are designed to allow them to stay really very, very close to the surface as they fly along. They were sitting at the top of where there were a pod of dolphins feeding as well. And it's not unusual when there's a large amount of food to see dolphins and cetaceans in the same area, probably some larger fish in there trying to catch some food as well. It's kind of like when the meal is served, everyone's going to come to the table.
Saw some Pacific white-sided dolphin, and we had a look at some rhesus dolphin in the distance that were breaching their way across as they went. So we've seen quite a few species. We've also seen elephant seals.
Though our afternoon voyage had been eventful with sightings of one species after another, the elusive blue whales had not yet made their appearance.
Sunfish. So, other things still to be seen?
Blue whales can be seen all over, but during the summertime, they tend to go to cooler areas to feed, usually the poles. But this is a unique area with a lot of upwelling and a lot of food coming to the surface, concentrating krill, their favorite food, especially since 1992. We've had as many as 100 or 200 blue whales using the area around Santa Barbara, Channel Islands to feed.
As the afternoon voyage progressed, our patience paid off as a pair of blue whales surfaced in the distance. As others soon appeared, passengers of the Condor Express found themselves witness to a half dozen of the marine giants, the largest animals on Earth.
As kids, we all learned about dinosaurs and how big and gigantic they had been, but the blue whale is living today. And it can usually in the range of 80 feet, 80, 90 feet, but they have records of blue whales over 100 feet.
I read actually that if these whales were out of the water, that they would just crush themselves because they're so, well, they don't have any bones, do they?
Well, they have bones, but the weight of their body is so tremendous. There's no question that's the main thing. When whales moved into the water over 65 million years ago, as they increased in size, their adaptations allowed them to survive very well. They've got fins that help them swim and flukes. They've got blubber that helps keep them warm. Their blowholes, we've got blowholes too. Ours are here. Theirs are up on top so they can come right to the surface to be able to breathe. So they're breathing air like we are, and it's important that they get air, but being up on land, they would not survive.
Well, and I guess I have heard about whale bones now that I think about it.
I am certain, but it's true. That thought of, well, how can you get crushed if you've got a skeleton supporting and protecting? And that's where water comes in and the dynamics of how amazing that fluid is, how well it can support us when we're swimming and how well it supports a whale.
Like the annual whale watching expeditions that carry passengers during the gray whale migrations, the Whales of Summer Trip offers Southern Californians a chance to glimpse marine life that makes its home off the Pacific coast, offering passengers a smooth, comfortable ride and a wealth of breathless sights along the way.
Well, the sea conditions have been great. It was barely choppy when we left, but no whitecaps. Now it is really smooth. The sun's come out. It's gotten nicer and nicer and nicer as we've gone. We found a humpback, and later we found two more. and then 2 more who were feeding with dolphin with their mouths wide open, and we just left another one. So we've had 6 humpback whales and 2 blue whales, several thousand common dolphin in at least 10 different groups. 2 types, a short-snouted and long-snouted common dolphin, including little tiny babies jumping up out of the water next to the boat. We also had some Pacific white-sided dolphin and some rhesus dolphin and a minke whale, as well as elephant seal and sea lions and harbor seal.
One year we saw some sea otters. So each year is different, and that's one of the things I notice is many times we have repeat passengers, friends of the aquarium who have come back trip after trip because they know every time they come they're going to see different things, and they bring together their family and friends to enjoy and get a chance to experience.
It's rejuvenating, particularly being on a trip in which there's many people who have never seen a whale before, particularly a blue whale, the biggest of all whales, and seeing humpbacks coming up with their mouths open and dolphins jumping everywhere. It's really exciting, particularly watching the people who've never seen it before. I've seen it thousands of times, but I never get tired of it. Every day is different. You never know what to expect. And I've been out, as I said, many thousands of times, and I think we may have something right now. You never know what to expect. It's always a treat.
And once again, this is off the coast of Santa Barbara, right?
Right outside Santa Barbara Harbor. This boat goes out, the Condor Express goes out pretty much every day from May through September or October or November, depending upon how long the whales stick around for. The blue whales and humpbacks come during the summer and are basically whale watched from May to December, and then they look for gray whales from December to May.